If you've been watching WWE television lately, you know Jade Cargill is an absolute powerhouse. She's making moves, but based on what WWE has teased recently, well, her storm is about to get a whole lot bigger. And honestly, I absolutely love the direction in which they are hinting. Today, we are going to be diving deep into the subtle and maybe not so subtle clues that WWE has dropped about what's next for Jade Cargill. I'm breaking down why this potential storyline has me incredibly excited for her future and what this means for the entire women's division. You're definitely going to want to hear this. So Jade Cargill, she's been feuding with Naomi. She's been doing so since returning at the Elimination Chamber. They booked her into a program. They had the mystery attacker. Hey, Naomi is that person. Oh, by the way, Bianca Belair may or may not have known about it, and now Jade Cargill's back for revenge, right? Well, that's pretty much a summary of where we've been at. And so they decided, hey, we're going to have these two work a match at WrestleMania. We're going to have Jade Cargill, Naomi, and it was Jade Cargill going over Naomi. More on that in a minute. I think WWE made a mistake with that. They're continuing this feud, right? But did you notice there was something that was very interesting that happened on the May 9th episode of Friday Night SmackDown? Now, this comes after Jade Cargill had worked a match with our women's champion Tiffany Stratton, in which Nia Jax got involved and screwed up the whole thing. Yawn. But there was an interaction in which I think you need to see. So, WWE SmackDown, it was in Dayton, Ohio, and you never know what's going to happen each week. And we saw actually two returns this week. So, first, it was Alexa Bliss. She returned, and she was Zelina Vega's surprise opponent. And then Charlotte Flair made her first appearance on WWE television since WrestleMania 41 to top the second hour. Now, she came out there and she was trying to do a promo by giving Tiffany Stratton credit for defeating her at WrestleMania 41. Yeah. And then she, of course, put the focus back on herself, declaring that she's the GOAT of women's wrestling and that she was announcing her path to the women's championship. However, they went off the rails because she then got upset by the fan reaction, and then she threatened to leave Dayton, Ohio if she didn't get the respect that she deserved. At that point, Charlotte Flair, she tossed the mic, and she started to walk away. As she left, well, Jade Cargill made her entrance. She walked down that ring completely in megastar status and a cowboy hat, and she walked past Charlotte Flair on her way to the ring before her next match. Then Jade Cargill got the mic and told her to head back to the line. Interesting. So, summarize real quick. Look at where WWE has been going with Jade Cargill. So they take her from a tag team star with Bianca Belair in her first year in the company. They split her away. They put her in a pretty significant program with Naomi at WrestleMania. She goes over at WrestleMania. Then she works a non-titles match with our women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. Then they say, you know what, we're not even going to beat Jade Cargill. We're going to protect her, and they're going to go to a no contest, a smudge, if you will. And then the following week, she has a little bit of a showdown with Charlotte Flair. Now, this is actually the third time that there's been an interaction with Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. What does that tell you? Well, that tells me a few different things. Number one, they see Jade Cargill in the same light of a Charlotte Flair. They see money. They smell money. They see the potential in a feud with these two. Why wouldn't you? You have Charlotte Flair, a mainstay, a veteran, a future WWE Hall of Famer, multiple-time women's champion. And then you see Jade Cargill, the future star to help carry this company. She may not be here for the long haul, but she's definitely going to be at the top of the card for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years before she goes off and does whatever she wants. She wants to do Hollywood. We'll see how that plays out for her. Regardless, WWE is telling you two things. Number one, their vision, their plan, their focus on Jade Cargill hasn't waned. It hasn't wavered. They still see her as a top star, and they still see her at the pecking order at the top. Okay? So regardless of what you may or may not think, whether you agree with it or not, Jade Cargill, she ain't going nowhere. All right? She's still a top star. Now, what does it also tell me? Well, it also tells me that Jade Cargill versus Charlotte Flair is a money match. I'm not the only one that sees it. WWE sees it, and they're planting the seeds. Now, whether this feud actually happens in the next 6 months, next year, I don't know. But it's coming. And they are setting the foundation. They are layering the foundation, if you will. So when they do get to this feud, they have building blocks and they have established history. If you look at what WWE, particularly with Triple H, what do they do well? Well, they tease things. They want you to look back on things and go, oh, yeah, I remember that. Or do you remember when WWE did this? Well, that's what they're doing here. So whether it happens next month, next week, 2 years from now, they're going to go back to this. They're going to be able to play those clips, and they're going to be able to have Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill bring these subjects up, these moments. Do you remember when you did X? Do you remember when you did Y type of scenarios? That's what they're doing here. It's actually brilliant if you think about it, because you create animosity, you create friction, you create storyline driven areas by doing these things. It's brilliant. I love it. I hope they continue to do this, and this is something in which Triple H has absolutely mastered at while head of creative at WWE, or at least main roster, right? Like, he does these. He plants little seeds here and there, and he does it all over the place with various talent. And then 6 months, a year, whatever the case may be, they can go back to that and they go, oh, we showed you this, right? Like, every attention to detail is really given in WWE. And I think that's what makes their product so well right now. Whether it is Jade Cargill's mystery attacker angle or like backstage segments, you need to pay attention when you're watching backstage segments in WWE, because they plant little seeds and you can see two stars interact, or you can see a star appear, or you see little hints of like character development or hints of character presence in the background. And that's what makes it beautiful. It really, really does. And I think this is just another example of WWE doing this. The only difference now is it's with Jade Cargill and Charlotte Flair, right? Like, so where we go from here is here. I still stand by the fact that I think Jade Cargill should have put Naomi over at WrestleMania, because I think Naomi earned it. I think she deserved it. I think she's done wonders with this feud, this program, this storyline. And you need to reward her for it. Now, will they have her go over in the end? Highly doubt it. Honestly, I hope they don't do that. I think Jade Cargill needs to win the feud, but I also don't think you should blow off this feud anytime soon. So, whenever you do this rematch with Naomi and Jade Cargill, well, I think Jade should do the honors. Put her over, if you will. Have Naomi get that 1, that 2, that 3, that victory. Sweet victory. You know what I mean? I think that's what you got to do. And we'll see what they end up doing. It'll be interesting.